Hey guys, EBP Man here, and today we're doing a unboxing and first impression, as well as an accessory review of the first things that you should purchase for your Samsung Galaxy Watch 3. Let's go ahead and check them out. Now in this video, we're going to be taking a look at accessories that you should consider when picking up your Samsung Galaxy Watch 3, as well as taking a look at the two different versions that are out there. There's a silver one and there's a black one. Which one should you pick? And then we'll do a really quick comparison and see how does it compare to its predecessor or one of the other smartwatches that are on the market, the Galaxy Watch Active 2. And hey, we have to talk about the Apple Watch 2. So let's get right to it. Now, unboxing the Samsung Galaxy Watch 3 is a pretty straightforward exercise. All we'll do is just open it up just like this. And this is the silver one, right? And make sure that you look at the bottom, because this is where you're going to find your charger. There's no charging brick, just the actual cable with the magnetic charger that you'll use for your watch, as well as a little user guide. Now, as we take a look at the watch itself, the presentation is pretty simple. There isn't anything else in the box outside of the watch and the charger. We'll put it right here with some of the other versions. And then you can see this is what the charger looks like right here, right? So it's pretty much a magnetic charger that will connect to the back. Once you put it in like this. It's not really a strong magnet, but still it's self-guiding, which is really nice. And then you have the standard USB-A connector there. Now, as we take a look at the watches that we have here, the first thing that you'll notice is that this has a total silver body, but then it has a black bezel. Now, some of my friends have told me that that is kind of a turn-off for them. Well, we're going to be having on the channel these Rinky bezels coming really soon that are stickable bezels that go on top of it, where you can make this completely silver if you want to have something that looks that way. You'll notice over here I have the Samsung Galaxy Watch Active, and I actually have a Rinky bezel around it that gives it this specific look. And I'll turn this over to the side so you can see it. So you'll notice that this is where the watch begins, and then this is where the bezel begins. So it sits right on top of it, and I have had these on my watches forever. I'll tell you, they don't come off, even if they get wet, and they're really easy to attach. So once we get them on the channel, we're going to share them with you. And then here is the Apple Watch, the most current one, and you'll notice that this is a cellular version. And you'll notice that Samsung, I think, took a cue from that, because you have on this one right here, also that little band, which indicates it's cellular. And then you can see right here that I have the black version, 46mm, and it also has the little red band around it, indicating that it's cellular as well. My advice is that if you're going to pick up a Galaxy Watch 3, get the 46mm with the LTE. You can use it without turning on the LTE. So if you don't want to turn on the LTE and you just want to use the larger size, which also comes with a larger battery, for me that's key, you could also get this. It's a little bit more expensive, but it's definitely worth it. Now, one of the first things that I would recommend when you get your Galaxy Watch is that you take a look at bands. So let's take a look at this watch for a second so we can see what's going on here. First of all, the watch itself is really slim. It is slimmer than its predecessors, and it's lighter, and it's a delight to wear. It actually feels more like jewelry than a heavy piece of steel on your wrist. The actual look itself is really nice, and like I said, we're going to be able to change this bezel later on. There are optional, say, glass that you can put on top of it. That's something that you want to do. And the neat thing about this is at the very bottom, you notice you have these sensors. So they've improved a lot of things. You have a lot of different, I would say, software now options when it comes to health to be able to monitor your blood pressure, your heart. And all of these sensors are now being enabled. There's actually a software patch that just came out because it's been approved. Now, the heart rate monitor type technology that they have, that kind of stuff is still not approved. You can check your blood pressure, you can check your heart rate, but there's also some more technology that's available. And there's also some advanced, I would say, tracking that's available for those of you who run like I do. So you'll notice also on the bottom here that these bands are really high-end, very nice looking bands. They're leather bands, which really dresses up this watch. But one of the things I don't like about the bands is that the bands themselves, if you sweat these, they kind of get really nasty really fast. So I wanted to share with you some options, right? So first option is, this is a leather band, and you'll notice that it kind of, if I flip this back, it kind of looks the same if we put them side by side. So it has the same treatment. So it has the stitching going all the way around. This is obviously one that I've been using on my other watch so that you can see the wear. But when you flip this over, you'll notice that it has a rubberized material in the bottom. So this is what's called a hybrid band. It's silicone on one side, leather on the other side, giving you, again, that high-end look without sacrificing if you're somebody who's into athletics and likes working out. And by the way, I would keep my watch on when you work out. It tracks all these different things about what's going on in your workout. You'll notice that I have other versions or other colors. And here we have this one right here. And as I flip it over, it's rubberized on one side, leather on the other. And if I were to put it right on top of the watch, this is what it would look like. right? So this is going to give you a really, really cool looking, I would say it dresses up your watch a little bit differently. And then you don't have to worry about the fact that, hey, you're going to be sweating. Here's another version that we'll put on here. So this is kind of like a black brown. I'm kind of digging this one too. And you can see how that would look on the Galaxy Watch. So again, bands to me are essential because it really gives you the ability to dress up your watch, and it feels like a new watch every single time you switch a band. And you'll see here that I have now the black version of the Galaxy Watch with this sports band. And you'll notice that it has some similarities with the Apple Watch. So it tucks down in this area here, and then it's really easy to size. I actually like using this one, especially since I've been working from home and I don't have to dress up, because of how, I would say, sporty it looks, and then also how comfortable it is. As we flip these over, you know, one of the things that I just wanted to highlight also is that removing these bands are pretty simple. You notice this little button right here? All you have to do is push that button, and then you'll be able to remove the bands. Now, if you're still deciding between the silver or the black, just wanted to give you a look at what they look like side by side. So I'm going to put it on my wrist right here so you can see what this looks like. And then I'm going to put the silver on my wrist right here. You can see what it looks like. I prefer this year the full black version versus this. But once again, you can get that little rinky bezel, which we'll have on the channel, that will make this full silver if this is something that turns you off. Now, one of the things that sets Samsung apart, and I'm going to go ahead and unlock my Apple Watch here, that really sets it apart is navigation. So Apple, you know, you can navigate and choose your apps, and it has kind of like this little cluster thing going on here. You do have swipe gestures as well. So let's go back to the very beginning. Okay, I can swipe up, and those are all my toggles. I can swipe down to see notifications. I can swipe left to go to almost like another watch face. So it's relatively well when it comes to navigation. I don't think it's that bad. But I really prefer the Samsung navigation. So let me show you how the Samsung navigation is pretty much all you do is you just rotate the bezel, and it goes from these widgets from widget to widget, right? Just like this. So I really prefer that as well. I also prefer that, you know, my swiping. So here, if I want to look at like any of the notifications, just like the Apple Watch, how that works, I can swipe from the top right here. I can swipe from the bottom if there was any kind of notification here. Typically, there's a little icon that will show up if I'm running. So as soon as I tap that, that's going to open for me. But the overall experience when it comes to navigation and the bezel for me is just much better on Samsung. Now, overall navigation is also really different. So as I basically go into the app area, all I have to do is rotate to find the app I want. And then once I find it, I can tap it or I can have it auto select. Now, there are tons of accessories available for the Samsung Galaxy Watch 3, given the backward compatibility with the previous versions. So make sure you check out these playlists if you're interested in more accessories.